Hey everyone, welcome back to Mini Toy Adventures. My name is Dom, and today we are getting into the final video in this series. Well, at least for now. Hopefully it's not the final video, let me say that. I hope that we get more of these beautiful reproduction dolls, and we have today Frankie Stein from the Reproduction series, the boo-riginal Reproduction, as you can see up there at the top. And you know what? I actually have an original 2010 Frankie that we are going to go ahead and compare her to, just to see how they stack up against each other. With all that said though, this is the box that they come in, and well, while we're at it, let's go ahead and just take a look at that side by side with the original first wave box right here. Obviously there's no doll in it because I have it out right next to me, but we can see how the different components compare. You can see that these have been changed right here. Obviously this says stitched together with style, this one says boo-riginal Reproduction, and the box art is different, obviously a little bit different. We have kind of a different design here, so you can definitely be able to tell the difference between the two. And this is the first time I've actually compared these side by side to see exactly what they look like. But there are a lot of very drastic differences, as you can see, with the design of the artwork on the box. Also, not to mention that we have a big Daughter of Frankenstein right here, and on the bottom here we have that, but in a bunch of different languages. Now, on the back side of the box here, you can see that we do have some differences as well. Again, this is the reproduction doll. This is the original first wave doll that was on the bottom of the box, which I'll show you in a second. You can see the dates there, but we still have the same info and everything. We do have a little description up here, but it has, you know, less going on with it because we do have it in other languages as well. And by the way, if you want to read any of this stuff on the reproduction box, go ahead and pause the video now so you can check that out for yourself. But overall, the style has been retained. Now, when we get up to the top here, you can see on the reproduction, we have just this chain right here, versus the original, we do have a window at the top right there. And then we have the side, which is the same kind of plaid, a little bit of a different offset. On the other side, you can see that we have, well, I mean, you can see the differences are very drastic. Again, if you're losing track of it, this is the reproduction doll. And then on the bottom here, probably the most important thing you can see is this one says copyright 2009, this one says copyright 2021. Now, with that being said, they're pretty faithful. I mean, they definitely give you the same vibe between the two. Obviously, the box art's different, a way to differentiate the two, and we do have different languages within the mix on the newer box and whatnot, but that is the box comparison between the original Frankie Stein and the reproduction Frankie Stein, in case you were curious about how those matched up to each other. But that being said, it's time to get this ghoul out of the box and see how she compares to her, I do want to call it sister, twin from, wow, what, over 10 years ago? That's crazy. Let's go ahead and get this out of the box and we can take a look at it together. Now, just in case you wanted to open this box without destroying the entire thing, if you open the top flap right here, you see you get a good peek inside of everything. You can then go ahead and easily pull out this center tray right here. At least it should come out pretty easily. There you go. And you don't have to worry about messing up the box that she came in, and you can get closer to everything here. And on the back side of that, we do have all of the ties and everything that will allow you to get her out of there. So again, I'm not gonna waste time. Let me go ahead and get this ghoul out of her packaging, and we'll take a look at it together. All right, so we have everything out of the box here, but you know the drill. Let's go ahead and take our Frankie doll and just set her off to the side just for a little bit so we can take a look at everything else that comes inside of the box, which is, first up, we have the very unexciting stand and waist clip. Not really much fun happening there. Just a tiny little waist clip to stand, and then we have the base for the stand, which does say Monster High across the front. And as I've shown in previous reproduction videos, we do have the 2008 copyright on the back there. So this is the same mold. It's the same mold they've been using for every Monster High stand, even this collector doll. So really nothing special happening there. You can peg it into the bottom there, and you are good to go. We also do have our Monster High brush. Again, really nothing special happening here, just says Monster High across the bottom, and it's got this kind of silvery look to it. We do also have her diary as well. Now, if this was something you were wondering if it's changed or not from the previous version, I do have both diaries right here. So this is my 2010 diary, this is my 2021 diary, and you can actually see there on the back we have 2021, and then this one's copyright 2009. So it looks like the text between the two, again, this is the 2021 and this is the 2010. We don't have this little thing right there, but it looks like the diary entries seem to be exactly the same. There doesn't seem to be any difference there. And I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but I was just curious about, you know, some of the, like the front page and the back page. Maybe there are hidden Easter eggs inside of this diary. I don't know, it might be a fun thing to go check out. But as you can see, they do look basically identical between the two. So not much to show there. That being said, we do have a couple accessories. The first one is her purse right here. Very, very pretty looking purse. I do have the original one. So like I said, we'll compare all these individual parts to the OG accessories as soon as we get into that portion of the video. And then we also do have, we can't forget about this little guy, Watson. Look at him. And so we will compare him as well to his original first wave counterpart here in a little bit. But that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the main attraction here, Frankie Stein, and boy, oh boy, does she just look absolutely stunning. So I'm not gonna spend too much time going over the face and the details of everything here, but you can see a look at her face, and we'll see how true to the original production this is as well very shortly. But you can see her hair and her rooting. She does have the bump on the reproductions. I know a lot of the original ones didn't have that bump, and it was also kind of hit or miss whether or not you got the same pattern of the hair up front. So that looks pretty even and everything. There doesn't seem to be any rooting issues or anything like that. And her face and makeup just look absolutely beautiful. We have the same little indicating marks on her body and on her face, and we do have one on her leg right there and right there at the bottom. So everything looks to be, I mean, pretty true to Frankie Stein. But the real test of everything here is going to be looking at the original one. So this is my original first wave Frankie. Actually has gold elastics, as you can see down there. I got her in really good condition for a really good deal. So let's go ahead and compare old to new. And here you go, you can see them side by side. It does look like there's a little bit of a difference in her eyebrows next to each other. Like I said, I haven't seen any of the first wave dolls that had consistent like hair across the front. It was always kind of different. I haven't seen a lot of them anyways. There are some, but this was my first wave one. We obviously don't have the bump. I could make the bump if I wanted to, but I just kind of left it as it came out of the box. But you can see there the difference between the two faces. Again, this is 2010, this is 2022. So let me know which one is your favorite and why in the comment section. But you can see the outfit and everything. There's a lot of similarities, like a ton of them. They look very much the same though. You can tell, I think, like between the two, obviously the fabric is different. It's meant to look the same, but it is slightly different, so you can see that difference there. And then we do have, like on the original one, I believe the little skull on her tie here looks a little bit better on the original one versus the reproduction. But I mean, that's just my opinion. This one just looks like it's been reproduced, and this one definitely looks much cleaner. So taking a look at her earrings and her hair real quick, you can see on the reproduction doll, which is over on this side, it does look like the paint on the earrings is slightly lighter. And then obviously we have more of a like super platinum blonde versus like the yellowed one on this side. And I don't think that's from glue seepage. I think that a lot of the older Frankie dolls, either the hair just got more yellow over time, or it was more of a yellow color initially when they were rooted. I personally like the blonde and the black on look on this one, but they both look pretty fabulous. And I mean, as far as the differences go, it's a pretty faithful reproduction, I have to say. Like, this is my original 2010, this is the 2022 version. Here's even a look at her shoes there at the bottom. Like, everything looks pretty spot on in my opinion. They did a really good job with these reproduction dolls, and I'm super happy with them. One thing that I did notice between these two right here is on the original, her scar on her cheek is definitely much higher. Now, I'm not sure if that was a screening thing at the time or if it was supposed to be that high. That looks a little better in my opinion on the reproduction doll, but on my specific first wave doll, the screening for the scar was quite a bit higher, as you can see there. But other than that, I mean, there's not really many differences between these two. I do have the waist clip still here on the back of the original Frankie. I think they look great together though, and I think that Mattel did a really good job at reproducing these dolls here. Now, let's jump back into the reproduction doll here, just so we can talk real quick about the articulation. Nothing has changed here, really. As I pointed out earlier, my original first wave doll has elastic bands for the legs. These are on ball joints here, which will hold the pose much better, and overall I think it's just a much better concept than the elastic that they were using. But for the articulation, we do have a ball joint head, so you can kind of move that around. There's nothing surprising here. Her arms can spin all the way around, full 360, and then we do have a elbow joint, and then we have swivel right there as well, and we do have a joint here at the wrist, and that can also spin all the way around with that swivel there. With the legs here, like I said, we do have the ball joint here, and then we do also have our knee joint here, which we can use to kick back her leg, and she can kick out her leg 90 degrees and then all the way back another 90 degrees. There's no ankle articulation, but we do have a nice little swivel joint in the knee there. And that's pretty much it in terms of the articulation. So while we have our two Frankies on the side, let's take a look at the reproduction accessories. So first up, we have Watsit, and over on this side, we have the reproduction, and over on this side, we have the original. Now you can see here, at least it's visible to me, on the reproduction, the paint is a little bit lighter, or the screening is a little bit lighter looking, but otherwise, a pretty faithful reproduction between the two. Like I said, we have the original over on the left here and the reproduction on the right. It is a little bit different, like you could tell if you definitely looked at it closely, but they are mostly the same. Now I wonder, do we have like a copyright date on the bottom or anything like that? It does not look like we have a copyright date here, so there might not be a way to differentiate the accessories between one another, except that look for darker paint, I suppose, because that's the difference that I'm seeing here between the original and the reproduction. Otherwise, we don't really have much of a way to tell the difference between the two. Now, let's also take a look at her purse. So we have the original purse over here on the left and the reproduction purse over here on the right. And again, the same trend kind of follows here. The original purse has much darker paint going on with it, like quite substantially so. Like, this is the reproduction, this is the original. You can see how much darker that skull is in the middle. It looks like the molds are pretty much exactly the same. The reproduction mold, well, let's see, they do look pretty spot on. I mean, it would be hard to tell the difference if you didn't know what you were looking for, but here are the differences between the two. Like I said, the reproduction to me is a dead giveaway in person because it's got a much lighter paint on it than the original, and that's probably just due to a manufacturing thing. But those are the differences between the accessories for the original and the reproduction. And look at this. We have our Frankies. More than a decade spaces between these two, and I just think it's absolutely amazing. I'm super happy with all these reproduction dolls. They look so great, and they were such faithful reproductions to the original, and I'm not going to be able to get her to stand when I want her to. That always happens to me. There we go. Got her to stand. Now we can get the next one to stand. I am pretty happy though with how these turned out. I don't know. I do hope that they make more because obviously we have much more dolls in the Monster High series that they could do reproductions of. So hopefully we end up getting that. Let me go ahead and stick these two Frankies next to each other. Hopefully we end up getting you know, reproductions of all of the ghouls in the line. That'd be super awesome. Hard to tell at this point though, right? I mean, we know we have these 4 and they're available at Walmart, and I think they might be rolling out to other stores. I don't know. Any links I find or anything I will leave in the description for you, but let me know what you think about Frankie Stein's reproduction doll and how she compares to the original 2010 version. I'm excited to hear your thoughts, but thank you so much for spending just a tiny little bit of time with me here today as we open up some wonderful Monster High reproduction dolls. I really appreciate all of the support, everyone. You mean the world to me. Thank you so much. I cannot say it enough. But if you're not subscribed yet, be sure to do so, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos like this drop in the near future. And if you don't know what you're doing with yourself right now, be sure you're following me on Instagram as well, because lots of fun stuff is happening there. I really do appreciate all the support. I know I've said that a million times, but truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Once again, this has been Mini Toy Adventures. My name is Dom, and I'll see you later. Bye.